you might think it's just another makeup day, another gentle swipe of powder across the lips, a touch of color to bring some brightness to your morning. But what if I told you that very shade you've used for years, the one tucked faithfully in your purse, or vanity might be the reason your reflection looks more tired, more aged than you feel inside? What if that little tube, so familiar and comforting, is actually working against you, highlighting lines you never noticed and pulling your confidence down one silent crack at a time? In today's video, we're uncovering something rarely talked about but deeply important for anyone over 60 who still believes in looking and feeling their best. Let's explore the truth behind certain lip powder shades, why they may be betraying your beauty, and most importantly, what you can do starting today to turn that reflection back into your ally. Stick with me, you may never look at your favorite lipstick the same way again. Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, applied your favorite lip powder on you've trusted for years, and suddenly felt that something looked off? Perhaps you couldn't quite place your finger on it, but your face seemed older, more tired, as if the lines around your mouth had deepened overnight, as if someone had pressed fast forward on time without your permission. You smooth your lips, blend again, tilt your head under the light, but no matter how you adjust, the mirror quietly whispers a truth few dare to face. Sometimes, it's not age that betrays us. It's the little things we've used without question, like that very shade of lip powder you swore by 10 years ago. For millions of older adults, especially women past the age of 60, this silent betrayal happens not through illness or circumstance, but right there in the seemingly harmless rituals of beauty. That lip powder you carefully dab each morning may be doing more harm than good, not because of its color alone, but because of how it behaves on mature skin. Unlike the supple canvas of youth, older lips tend to be drier, with delicate vertical lines forming naturally over time. When a matte or powdered lipstick settles into those tiny grooves, it doesn't just highlight age, it magnifies it. The once vibrant smile is suddenly overshadowed by a maze of cracks, and what was meant to enhance now quietly diminishes. Imagine walking into a room hoping to bring light, only to realize your makeup, chosen with care and love, has become the culprit in dimming your radiance. What's worse is that most seniors never suspect it. After all, makeup has been a companion for decades. The comfort of routine same compact, same brush, same trusted colors becomes a sanctuary in the midst of life's many changes. But this loyalty comes at a price when the very products that once empowered you begin to conspire with age rather than combat it. And it's not about vanity, it's about dignity, confidence. The ability to look in the mirror and feel like yourself, like the strong, vibrant person you've always been, not a stranger shadowed by poor cosmetic choices. The wrong lip powder shade doesn't simply age your face, it chips away at the vibrant self-image you've worked so hard to preserve. And once that confidence falters, the impact ripples through everything. Your willingness to go out, to meet friends, to smile for pictures, to embrace the beauty of life as it is, all because a small detail no one warned you about was silently undoing all your efforts to age gracefully. Let's not forget the science behind it. As we age, the natural oils in our lips decrease significantly. Collagen production slows down, elasticity weakens, lips become thinner, more fragile. In such conditions, using lip powder, especially those with dry or matte finishes, becomes a gamble. These textures, though trendy, cling to every imperfection. The powder doesn't glide at clumps. It sinks into the fine lines like rainwater filling in sidewalk cracks, and once there, it refuses to move. No amount of blending or layering will help. In fact, layering often worsens the issue, drawing even more attention to the lines you wish to hide. And if the shade itself is too dark or too pale, it can distort your natural complexion, making your face appear sallow, washed out, or harsh. Picture someone vibrant and full of warmth being reduced to a pale ghost of themselves simply because of a poorly matched cosmetic product. That's the reality many older adults face daily without even realizing the cause. Even worse, these powders can actively damage aging skin. Certain pigments, preservatives, and fragrances found in lip products are known irritants, especially for mature skin that has become more sensitive over time. Repeated use of such products can lead to chronic dryness, flaking, inflammation, or even minor infections, which only worsen the visual signs of aging. And let's be honest, no one wants to feel embarrassed when reapplying lipstick in public, only to see a cracked, bleeding lip surface staring back. It's not just a matter of looks, it's a matter of skin health and hygiene. The lips, often neglected in anti-aging discussions, are among the most delicate and expressive parts of our face. They deserve better. You deserve better. But why does no one talk about this? Why do makeup commercials still parade 20-year-olds while selling anti-aging products? Why is there no warning label saying, "This shade may betray your age lines"? The silence is deafening and costly. Because while you're trying to look your best, the beauty industry is often selling illusions that don't cater to you. You, who has lived through decades of wisdom, love, sacrifice, and triumph. You whose face tells a story worth honoring, not hiding. You deserve cosmetics that work with your age, not against it. Every wrinkle, every line, every smile mark is a badge of honor, not a flaw to be punished by outdated makeup choices. What if, instead, you chose shades that lifted you? Soft rose, warm coral, gentle mauve tones that complement mature skin and reflect light rather than absorb it. What if your lipstick was infused with moisture-rich ingredients like hyaluronic acid, shea butter, or vitamin E to nourish while it beautifies? What if you saw your makeup not as a mask, but as a Marora tool that reflects your strength, your history, your joy? Because at the end of the day, beauty isn't about pretending to be young. It's about owning who you are and choosing products that respect that truth. So the next time you reach for that lip powder, pause, look closely, ask yourself, is this shade still serving me? Is it honoring the face I've earned, or is it quietly betraying it? You don't need to abandon makeup, you just need to update it. Just like you've updated your routines, your values, your priorities with age, your beauty rituals deserve the same evolution. Don't let an old habit sabotage your new chapter. Don't let a misguided color choice write your story in a tone that doesn't belong to you. Because aging is not a decline, it's an arrival. And your reflection should celebrate that, not conceal it. You've earned every moment, every smile line, every memory etched in your face. Let your lipstick echo that grace, not erase it. And while you're reconsidering that lip powder, there's another truth you may have ignored, perhaps because no one ever told you, or because you were too busy caring for others to pause and truly look. The skin around your mouth, the very canvas where lipstick dances and smiles bloom, is in fact one of the first battlegrounds where aging makes its presence known. Not the eyes, not the forehead though, they get all the headlines, but this small, silent area just above and around the lips, often overlooked, often betrayed. It begins quietly, a faint crease here, a subtle droop there. You think it's nothing, just a shadow, a trick of the light, but months pass, years gather, and those shadows deepen into lines. Those lines settle into folds. You wake up one morning and your once bright smile now seems framed by parentheses you never asked for. And it's not only a matter of appearance. These lines hold stories. Stories of laughter, of years whispered into the ears of grandchildren, of secrets shared over coffee, of nights spent in both joy and worry. But when neglected, when left uncared for, these stories are twisted by time and harsh products into a tired expression that no longer reflects the fire still burning inside you. What's more tragic is how these lines are often blamed on age alone, when in reality, they're worsened by something preventable: your own routine. Decades of using the wrong products, skipping moisture, sleeping with makeup, exposing delicate skin to the sun without protection, all of it contributes. And makeup, yes, even that beloved lipstick, becomes a double-edged sword. Instead of hiding imperfections, it becomes the flashlight pointing them out. You apply it hoping to revive your face, but instead, you see lipstick bleeding into lines, forming feathered edges, cracks, where color once flowed smoothly. No one ever warned you about the importance of a lip primer, of exfoliating gently, of hydrating the skin around your mouth just as religiously as you do your cheeks or forehead. And now, you're paying the priest not in pain, but in subtle betrayals, in moments where you glance at a photo and wonder, when did I start looking so drawn? In instances where a simple swipe of color turns into a 10-minute battle against creasing and smudging, and worst of all, in the unspoken shift in how others see you, you smile, but people ask if you're tired. You speak, and they say you seem stressed. It's not you. It's the neglected skin speaking a language your heart doesn't agree with. But let's dig deeper, because this isn't just about aesthetics. The area around the lips is one of the thinnest and most fragile on your entire body. Unlike the rest of your skin, it lacks oil glands. That means it's constantly at risk of dehydration, cracking, and damage. Add to that the constant movement from speaking, chewing, yawning, and yes, smiling at. You have a zone in near constant use without the reinforcements to handle it. And here's where things get even more heartbreaking. As we age, our skin's production of collagen and elastin proteins responsible for keeping skin firm and supple drops dramatically. Every year after age 30, your body makes less. By the time you hit 60 or 70, the loss is staggering. The mouth area loses its youthful plumpness, and without care, it collapses into a network of lines that no concealer can truly mask. That's when the very tools we reach for foundation, lip liner, powder turn against us. They don't glide, they settle. They don't enhance, they exaggerate. And yet, the market still feeds you lies. Anti-aging lipstick, wrinkle smoothing gloss. It promises miracles in a tube, but most of it is a cruel joke played on those of us who trust too easily. Because unless you care for the foundation, the actual skin note product can work its magic. You wouldn't paint a masterpiece on cracked canvas, would you? Then why do we treat our skin any differently? Especially the part that moves with every laugh, trembles with every cry, and stretches with every kiss we've given or received in this lifetime. That skin deserves reverence. And that reverence starts with awareness. Awareness that every time we ignore moisturizer, every time we apply drying matte formulas, every time we forget sunblock on cloudy days, we are allowing time to draw lines with permanent ink. But here's the good news. Yes, there's still good news. It's never too late to rewrite the story. It's never too late to start treating your mouth area with the respect it deserves. Because skin is resilient. With the right attention, even mature skin can recover its vitality. Imagine this, a nightly routine where you gently cleanse your face, taking time to remove every trace of product, not in a hurry, not with harsh wipes, but with nourishing oils or balms. You follow with a dedicated serum for fine lines, packed with peptides or hyaluronic acid that feed the cells beneath your lips. Then, you lock in that moisture with a protective balm that hydrates through the night. In the morning, you start not with lipstick, but with Lova Primer, a light balm, a conscious choice of color that enhances rather than betrays. No more dry powder, no more hiding, only highlighting the grace you carry in every line. And here's the powerful truth. Once you begin to nurture that small area, just an inch or two of skin, you begin to see a ripple effect in how you treat the rest of yourself. You begin to dress with more intention, to hold your head higher, to speak without shrinking, because you're no longer just reacting to age, you're engaging with it. You're no longer covering up your face, you're celebrating it. And those around you, they notice. They won't say, "She looks younger." No, they'll say something far more important. "She looks vibrant. She looks full of life," because that's what care does. It revives not just the skin, but the spirit beneath it. So the next time you see those lines around your mouth, don't sigh, don't blame age, blame neglect, and then take responsibility. Because now you know, now you see what others never told you. And now you hold the power to transform, not by chasing youth, but by honoring your age with wisdom, intention, and care. The world may not have prepared you for this battle, but you're more than ready to win it. And as you begin to care for that delicate skin with renewed attention, you must also confront another harsh reality, one that hides behind the allure of trendiness and convenience. Not all beauty products are designed with your well-being in mind, especially not those soft-looking, innocent-seeming powders that promise a matte finish or long-lasting color. What they don't tell you is that many of these powdered lip products were never meant for lips that have crossed the threshold of 60. Behind the glamour lies a silent threat. Because what seems like a cosmetic upgrade may in fact be an agent of quiet destruction, sapping moisture, creating microscopic tears, deepening the very lines you fought so hard to reduce. And for older adults, particularly women with naturally thinning lips and compromised skin barriers, that damage is far more than skin deep. The consequences are real, and they're growing more invisible by the day. It starts subtly, a tingling sensation, a tightness that wasn't there before. You assume it's just dry weather or not enough water, but the truth is far more sinister. These dry powders, especially those packed with synthetic pigments, stabilizers, and alcohols, strip the lips of their already scarce natural oils. They create a desert-like environment where even the gentlest smile feels like it might split your lips apart. And when you apply them daily, perhaps multiple times a day, the damage accumulates. What was once a temporary discomfort becomes chronic. You find yourself licking your lips more often, which only worsens the dryness. You try balms, but they sit on top of the problem, never quite fixing what's underneath. Then the cracks appear. They sting, they bleed. You wonder why your lips feel thinner, more fragile, even though you're not doing anything differently except you are. That powder lipstick you bought because it looked natural or subtle, it's leeching life from your smile. And no one's warning you. But the betrayal doesn't end with dryness. Oh no, there's another layer. That flaky, uneven texture that appears after just a few hours of wear. That's not only unpleasant to look at, it's also a breeding ground for bacteria. You might not see it, you might think it's harmless, but those cracks and peeling layers are micro openings, doors left wide open for irritation, infection, and inflammation. Especially in older adults whose immune systems may not respond as swiftly as they used to, this is no small matter. A minor wound on the lip can become an ulcer, a canker sore, or worse, an ongoing inflammation that refuses to heal. And you'll sit there, wondering if you're suddenly becoming allergic to something, when the real answer lies in that little compact tube in your purse. That tube you trusted, that formula no one warned you about. And let's not forget, these lip powders often contain ingredients that should never come near aging skin: parabens, fragrance, chemicals, synthetic dyes, microparticles so fine they can slip into cracks and sit there like silent irritants. For younger skin, the impact may be negligible, but for older, skin-thin, reactive, vulnerable, it's a different story. These ingredients don't just cause temporary issues. They can erode your skin's resilience over time. The skin doesn't just dry, it becomes less capable of healing itself. It loses flexibility. It becomes irritated even with clean water. One day, you might find your lips burning after a meal not because of the food, but because the barrier meant to protect you has already been stripped away by months, even years of unkind products. And the worst part? No one told you to stop. No label warned you. No friend stepped in. Because we've all been trained to chase the look, never question the method. But here's where it becomes truly tragic. Many older adults interpret these changes as part of aging, not as a preventable consequence of product misuse. You blame your age. You blame your body. You think it's just how things are supposed to be. Maybe this is what getting old means, you whisper to yourself, feeling a pang of shame as you press another layer of drying pigment into lips that are already screaming for mercy. But the truth is not your age. It's the tools you were given, or rather, not warned about. It's the silent harm inflicted by a beauty culture obsessed with youth, but utterly indifferent to aging. They sell you powdered lipsticks meant for teenagers, then act surprised when your skin rebels. But it's not your body that's broken, it's the system. Because makeup for the elderly should not be an afterthought. It should be a revolution. Where are the creamy, hydrating formulas that glide like silk instead of dragging like sandpaper? Where are the lip products that soothe as they tint, that heal as they enhance? They exist, but they're not advertised to you. You won't see them in flashy commercials or prime shelf spots. You'll find them buried behind influencer trends, hidden in specialty sections, often out of reach or unfamiliar. Because the world has forgotten that mature lips need a different kind of Korea, softer touch, a kinder pigment, a nourishing formula that supports skin health, not sabotages it. And you deserve to know that. You deserve more than silence. So what can you do? First, recognize the enemy. Any product that leaves your lips feeling tight, that requires constant reapplication, that flakes, bleeds, or irritates is not your friend. Read the labels. Avoid formulas with alcohol, synthetic fragrance, and talc. Look for ingredients like jojoba oil, squalane, shea butter, beeswax, or vitamin E. Choose creamy balms with a tint, not drying mats that demand perfection. Exfoliate gently with a soft cloth once a week, not harsh scrubs that tear your skin. Drink water, and above all, listen to your body. If your lips tingle, if they sting, if they chap despite your efforts, it's your skin begging you to stop. Don't ignore the whisper before it becomes a scream. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. Your lips are not just an accessory. They're the opening to every story you've told, every song you've sung, every secret you've shared, every kiss you've given. They deserve reverence, and they cannot be replaced. No matter how glamorous a product may seem, it is not worth the slow erosion of your comfort, your health, your dignity. You are not just aging, you are evolving, and your beauty rituals must evolve with you. So, throw away that powder. Release yourself from the tyranny of products that were never made for you. Embrace the colors and textures that respect the years you've lived, not punish them. Let every stroke of lipstick be an act of self-love, not a silent sabotage. And when you smile in the mirror, let it be a smile of someone who chose nourishment over novelty, comfort over trend, wisdom over empty promises. Because that, dear soul, is true beauty. And when you finally let go of the damaging products, the dry powders, the age-denying illusions, and turn instead toward colors that love your skin back, something truly miraculous happens. Not just to your lips, not just to the lines, but to your spirit. At first, it's subtle, a flicker in the mirror, a sense of comfort, a sigh of relief when your lips no longer sting. Then, slowly but unmistakably, it grows. You start to walk differently. You lift your chin just a bit higher. You find yourself speaking more clearly, smiling more often. Why? Because when you find the right shade, the color that warms your skin, softens your features, brings out the kindness in your eyes, you begin to see yourself again. Not the version the world wants you to be. Not the faded outline you feared you'd become, but you, the one who raised children, built a life, cried through storms, and laughed through triumphs. The one who survived decades of expectations, silence, sacrifice, and now, in the reflection staring back at you, that woman is visible again, not covered, not altered, but elevated, respected, seen. It's no exaggeration to say the right lipstick can be a turning point. For someone who has spent years shrinking into the background, being told to quiet down, sit still, fade with grace, it can feel like reclaiming territory that was slowly taken without your notice. A warm coral might whisper, "I'm still here." A rosy mauve might boldly declare, "I have something to say." Even a classic red, if chosen with care, might roar, "I'm not done yet." Because the truth is, aging has a strange way of making people feel invisible, not because of the years themselves, but because of how society stops looking. The vibrant woman you were becomes a memory in the eyes of others. They stop asking your opinions, they stop complimenting your style, they assume comfort is all you care about. But when you look in that mirror with the right lipstick cone that feels like silk, that doesn't settle in lines, that radiates warmth instead of dryness, you remind the world and yourself that you have not disappeared. You have simply evolved. And let us not downplay how powerful that is. Confidence, for the elderly, is not vanity, it's survival, it's medicine. It's the difference between choosing to join a community event or staying isolated at home, between engaging in conversation or keeping your head down, between feeling like a burden and feeling like a woman with wisdom to share. And something as simple as color, just a swipe of color, can unlock those moments, because that color becomes a signal. It says, I still value myself. I still care how I show up in the world. I am not retreating. I am rising. This psychological transformation is more than emotional fluff, it's real. It's documented, it's powerful. Studies have shown that personal grooming and feeling put together increase endorphins and decrease cortisol levels in older adults. In other words, Taking care of how you look can actually make you feel happier, calmer, and more mentally sharp. And lip color, sitting right at the center of your expression, plays a bigger role than you think. When your lips feel smooth, nourished, and tinted with a flattering hue, you're more likely to speak, to smile, to engage. And those micro interactions, to smile at the shopkeeper, a hello to your neighbor, a conversation at the doctor's office, begin to build a web of connection, of worth, of presence. You begin to feel like you belong in your own life again. And do not let anyone tell you it's superficial, that it's just lipstick. That's the lie you've been fed for years by those who don't understand what it means to feel forgotten. Because for you, choosing that color finding your shady is not an act of vanity, it's a declaration that you still deserve beauty, that you still deserve care, that you are worthy of attention, of compliments, of turning heads not because you are pretending to be young, but because you are embracing your age with grace, style, and strength. Think of the ripple effect this has. Your children see it. Your grandchildren see it. They notice when you take time for yourself, when you wear that soft rose that makes your eyes shine. They hear the difference in your voice when you feel good in your skin. And perhaps without realizing it, they begin to treat you differently, not as someone fragile, but someone powerful, someone alive, someone with fire still in her. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to treat yourself differently. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop saying, I'm just old. You start saying, I still matter. And it all began with one tiny tube of color chosen, not from habit, but from understanding. From the knowledge that your lips, your face, your presence deserves more than neglect. It deserves honor. And let's speak truthfully, this is not about chasing youth. No, the goal is not to look younger, but to look like the best version of the age you are. To radiate vitality, not to pretend it's 1,975 again. You don't need to erase your years, you need to illuminate them. Show the light behind the laugh lines. Show the courage behind the crow's feet. Show the beauty behind every etched memory, because that's what the right lip color does. It doesn't cover you up, it reveals you. So explore, test, play, walk into that store with purpose, and don't let the salesperson steer you toward trendy nudes that drain your color. You know your face. You know what lights you up. Choose richness, choose moisture, choose warmth. And when you find that color, that shade that brings balance to your skin and joy to your spirit, hold onto it like a talisman. Wear it when you're happy. Wear it when you're uncertain. Wear it when you need to remind the world and yourself of who you still are. Because in that moment when the mirror reflects a woman who has lived, survived, and still dares to shine, you will understand what all this was about. Not about cosmetics, not about fashion, but about power. Your power. And in a world that tried to take it from you quietly, without fanfare, you reclaimed eye-tone beautiful, bold, nourishing stroke at a time. But even as you embrace your power, even as your reflection begins to reflect the warmth and wisdom you've so richly earned, a silent threat still lurks inside vanity drawers and bathroom cabinets across the world. It's not flashy, it's not loud. In fact, it often comes wrapped in nostalgia, the familiar scent of a lipstick you've had for years, in the compact you keep for special occasions, in the half-used tube you told yourself you'd finish one day. But these relics of the past, once cherished companions of your youth and middle years, may now be quietly undermining the very strength you've just rediscovered. Because here is a truth too few dare to say out loud: old makeup can be dangerous, not just ineffective, not just outdated, dangerous. Especially for skin that has aged, thinned, and become more vulnerable to even the smallest irritants. And while society obsesses over expiration dates on milk or medication, no one tells older adults that beauty products too have a shelf life that, when ignored, can cause real harm. Picture this: a tube of lipstick you've had since your daughter's wedding. You kept it because it reminded you of a happy day, because the color was perfect, because it felt too wasteful to throw away. But now, years later, you open the cap and apply it once more, unaware that bacteria have long made it their home. That once innocent product has become a breeding ground for invisible intruders microbes that multiply in warm, dark environments and thrive on the oils and waxes found in cosmetic formulas. And as you press it to your lips, you unknowingly introduce those invaders to your already delicate skin. What begins as a tingle escalates into a rash. Your lips swell, they peel. You blame yourself, maybe you didn't drink enough water, maybe you're just aging. But the truth lies in that cracked, dried tube you couldn't bear to throw away. And it's not just lipstick. Powders, no matter how finely milled or expensive, gather years worth of dead skin, oil, dust, and bacteria, especially when used with brushes that haven't been washed in months, or worse, years. Foundations separate, turning their original creamy consistency into an unstable mixture of oils and pigment that clogs pores and irritates skin. Mascaras dry out, clumping dangerously close to your lashes, risking eye infections or styes, and you apply them with trust, with memories. You don't question the product because it never questioned you until now, until your skin rebels, until your lips ache, until your eyes water for reasons you can't explain. And this betrayal feels personal, doesn't it? After all, these items have been with you. They've seen weddings, birthdays, holidays. They've comforted you on lonely days, empowered you on big ones. Throwing them away feels like discarding a piece of your life, but holding on out of sentiment is not love, it's surrender. It's allowing the past to poison the present, because you are not the same woman you were when you first bought that lipstick. You are wiser, stronger, more precious, and the products you use should reflect that evolution, not diminish it. There's also the matter of changing formulas. Maybe you haven't touched your makeup bag in years, but did you know that many of the ingredients once deemed safe in your youth are now banned or restricted? Lead traces in old lipsticks, parabens and phthalates in foundations, formaldehyde-releasing agents in nail polish, talc in powders. All ingredients now flagged for health concerns, especially in vulnerable populations, and yet they still sit there tucked away in bathroom corners, waiting for one more use. But every swipe, every dab, every brush stroke is a gamble on your aging skin is less prepared to survive. Even worse, many older adults don't see the signs. That persistent dryness around your lips that no balm can fix, that might not be a get, might be a chemical reaction. That redness after using your favorite compact, it's not just sensitive skin, it could be contamination. And that sudden rash or tiny blister is not stress, it could be mold forming inside your product. These are not dramatic guesses. These are facts. And the longer you ignore them, the greater the risk becomes not just to your beauty, but to your health. But this story doesn't have to end in fear. In fact, it's a call to action. A call to audit your beauty space like you would your medicine cabinet. To ask the difficult but necessary questions. When did I last replace this? Do I even remember when I bought it? How does my skin feel after I use it? Because these aren't superficial questions, they're acts of self-respect, of wisdom, of maturity. You don't cling to expired milk out of sentiment. So why cling to expired lipstick? Because it matched a dress from 10 years ago? Because it once made you feel beautiful? You've changed. Your needs have changed. Your makeup must too. And when you begin this cleansing, this intentional shedding of products that no longer serve you, you will feel something strange but liberating. Freedom, power, relief. You are no longer weighed down by clutter, by guilt, by obligation to an old identity. You are making room for better choices, for safer products, for tools that honor the person you are now, not the version you once were. And in that act, you send a message to yourself, to your reflection, to the world. I matter. I choose me, not my nostalgia, not my habit, me. And imagine the difference this makes, not just in how your skin feels, but in how you walk through the world. No more hidden inflammation, no more secret discomfort, no more confusion about why your lips feel raw or your cheeks itch. Instead, you feel clear, clean, supported. You know that every product touching your skin is safe, intentional, and worthy of the beautiful life you've built. And that's not just about cosmetics. That's about agency. That's about owning your space. That's about knowing your worth. Because you see, beauty after 60 is not about illusion. It's about authenticity. It's about walking through life with your shoulders back and your lips hydrated, knowing you're not playing pretend. You're playing to win. And that means using what lifts you, not what weighs you down. Choosing what nourishes you, not what erodes you silently over time. Loving yourself not with memory, but with action. So open that drawer, hold each item, ask the questions, make the choices, and when you toss the lipstick that no longer serves you, don't grieve, celebrate. You're not discarding beauty. You're protecting it. You're making space for the next chapter. One where every shade, every product, every ritual speaks your truth, not your age. Because you are not fading. You are refining. And in that glow fresh, fearless, and finally free you will realize the truth. Dignity doesn't come from youth. It comes from discernment, from knowing what to keep and what to finally let go. So now that you know the truth, that beauty isn't about holding on to expired colors or hiding behind old habits, but about protecting your skin, honoring your evolution, and choosing products that lift you, what will you do next? Will you open that drawer and say goodbye to what no longer serves you? Will you explore new shades, new formulas, a new kind of confidence? I hope so. And if this video helped you see your reflection in a different light, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who deserves to feel radiant again. Leave a comment below and tell me, what beauty product have you been holding on to out of memory? And what new choice are you ready to make? Because this isn't just about lipstick. It's about reclaiming the respect your years have earned, and that journey starts with one bold, beautiful decision.